Yo, it's your boy Omar Doe Jr. and I'm here to talk to you guys about who Christian McCaffrey compares to when it comes to NFL's current players or NFL past players. And he compares to one of my most favorite running backs ever to play the college game and very exciting in the NFL, Reggie Bush. Now, Christian McCaffrey and Reggie Bush share many different attributes and are Swiss Army knives in their own right. And that saying, I'm going to go into their intangibles first, which is their size and their speed. Both are in that 200 to 205 weight class coming out of college. Reggie Bush was 200 flat. Christian McCaffrey is looking at 200 pounds as well, around 201, 202. Of course, he's going to try and beef up. I think he can push it to around 205, 210, but that's the weight class that they're in. Reggie Bush came out, he was 5'11". Christian McCaffrey is 6 feet, so their size is fairly similar, which also kind of keeps into their gameplay, into their way they play when it comes to their elusiveness, shiftiness, and speed, using a combination of all three to build up the players that they are today. Another thing that is intangible that they share is their speed. Now, of course, Reggie Bush is faster than Christian McCaffrey. He runs a 4.340 and game speed. Reggie Bush is one of those speed blazers that just blows past the DBs, linebackers, and linemen like a blur. He's kind of lost his step, but in his younger years, and especially in his college years, he was electrifying. Same thing with Christian McCaffrey. Now, Christian McCaffrey's best 40 time is 4.4, 4.48, 4.45. If he can push it to a 4.4 flat, lower 4.4s, then he can really have a great draft stock improvement after the combine. But right now he's looking in that range. But when it comes to game speed, because there's going off adrenaline, you're not fresh, their speeds are practically the same. And I've seen Christian McCaffrey dust DBs, linebackers, and every other speed blazer on any other opposing team, just like Reggie Bush did back in 2005. Now, those intangibles alone kind of really shape the way they both play the game, which is so similar, to which I'm going to go into their gameplay. Both of these players are five-way attackers. They can attack a team 5 different ways, which is ridiculous and really so unique that really it helped me put these two in the same category. Now, there's some other players that are five-way Swiss Army knives as well, but Christian McCaffrey didn't meet up with them in a certain category of intangible like speed or size. So I picked Reggie Bush because he and him just match up so well. The way their college stats match up really is practically identical when it comes to them shooting and being top performers in all-purpose yards. And that's all centered around their 5-way killer mentality of way they can kill a team in 5 different ways. Now, they can, of course, run the ball. They can catch the ball. They can both return punts. They can both return kickoffs. And they both have the ability to scare the defense so much that when they get the handoff, they can also pass the ball out of the backfield, creating scores. Now, those 5 different ways that they can kill a team are 5 different ways that both of them can score, which makes them the ultimate Swiss Army knife. Now, first thing I'm going to get to that goes into their gameplay, both players are very shifty. They are humongously gifted in that aspect, and they both use it to their full extent. Reggie Bush is a given with his shiftiness. In college, he would run over you, not by literally truck you. He would jump over you, leap with his crazy athletic ability. He would give you a little shimmy shake, run to his right, run to his left, break you down, make one quick cut and lose no acceleration and just pass by you like a blur. And Christian McCaffrey does all the same things except for the leaping. That's something that Reggie Bush kind of coined himself, and Le'Veon Bell and some other running backs. But Christian McCaffrey, I've seen on many different spaces, is in a phone booth one-on-one with a DB or linebacker, gives him some stutter steps, and then keeps him in there and then just heads his way. He is super shifty on punt returns, on kick returns, on long straight run plays. You see him, and he just knows how to shift in and out to kind of create that elusiveness. So the shiftiness and elusiveness go hand in hand practically here. Just the shiftiness and elusiveness to get out of a phone booth filled with more than one or two defenders. And they both share that vision, which come with the shiftiness and the elusiveness. So all three come together in one pack. And with their vision, they're able to see where the holes are, where they can break down a player and go to the next area so they can create big time plays or scores. And they have that in every single aspect of their Swiss Army knife life abilities when it comes to the running, the returning, the punt returns, and the catching out of the backfield. Both just the most versatile players in both of their drafts, and Reggie Bush is one of the most versatile players in the NFL for the longest time, and he had one of the best offensive coordinators to help him develop and really grow his brand, Sean Payton, who is an offensive mastermind. Going on to Christian McCaffrey, though, another thing that really resonates with the two is, of course, their one-cut ability. Now, I've seen Christian McCaffrey speed, blaze past defenders like it was nothing and just create separation. Again, it's the college level and they're not pros, but he created separation from the fastest DB on teams, whether it comes to Dory Jackson or some players on UCLA squad who are no joke. They're D1 athletes. Even Iowa's Desmond King. But another thing that he has, that he possesses, that not many running backs do, is his one-cut ability to make a cut and not decelerate. He makes a cut and he just continues on with this straight line speed, whether it's out of the backfield or trying to create a play in the second level, third level, which is amazing. It's something that Reggie Bush excelled at, which made him one of the greatest players in college football, and the same thing for Christian McCaffrey. They can both make those one cuts and then still speed plays past you without losing any speed. Of course, it's not every single cut, but they both know and understand how to make that one cut with their athletic God-given ability, make that one cut without decelerating, use their shiftiness and elusiveness in combination with their vision to take it to the house on any play, whichever way they're catching the ball. Both of them do, of course, compare in the out of the backfield catching, punt returns, and kick returns. Christian McCaffrey is amazingly stellar at all three. He just excels when it comes to those three other aspects that are not really running back responsibilities when it comes to the straight definition. But if you want to build stack, if you want to build stock in your value, if you want to really excel at the next level, it is a must-have. Like I explained with Leonard Fournette, it's something that's being brought up and taught into the kids nowadays. Now, both excel humongously and they create mismatches. One thing that Reggie Bush built his NFL career off of was Sean Payton putting him in mismatches against other linebackers out in the open field when he's looking to receive the ball, not running. And Christian McCaffrey can do the same. He understands how to run routes and break down linebackers to put them in a disadvantage at stopping him so he can get to the second and third level, which creates the humongous chunk plays and creates the really great historic runs that he's had to create touchdowns for his team. And he's done it on numerous occasions against many different linebackers, against many different teams. And that's something that is a proven commodity about Christian McCaffrey that will help his draft stock, that automatically transfers to the next level. And something that Reggie Bush excelled at as well. But it was a lot more, I wouldn't say natural per se, but it just looked so easy for him, really. You could just see him. The second you saw him go out of the backfield and then just you see a linebacker try to cover him, you know he was done. And it's the same exact thing for Christian McCaffrey. Now, of course, the punt return and kick return ability for both is electrifying. It is really crazy. Both can just return the most improbable, crazy punt returns and kick returns with great shifty, elusive moves with their one-cut speed. Everything that they do that's amazing in their all-purpose yard gaining attributes. In their shiftiness, their elusiveness, their vision, their one-cut ability to cut and not lose any speed at all really make up their whole game and creates really the great plays that we see in college football today and Reggie Bush created in the NFL. It's just ridiculous. Some of the punt returns that you see against Iowa, against Kansas State that Christian McCaffrey pulled off. Some of the kick returns you see against UCLA, USC, just on numerous occasions. And Reggie Bush did the same thing. He was electrifying in his own right using all those same attributes. Now, one thing that you can say when you see Reggie Bush and Christian McCaffrey is that Reggie Bush does seem a lot more natural in his running style. Christian McCaffrey looks like a more stiffer runner, and that kind of elevates Reggie Bush's speed a little bit. But it will all translate. Every running back has their own running style. You'll never see two exact same running styles. You know, someone's going to be stiff, someone's going to be a little bit looser, someone's going to be a little bit more natural in their running style. So on that front, Christian McCaffrey excels and compares to Reggie Bush practically exactly on all those different fronts that I just covered. Now let me go over their college statistics. Now, Reggie Bush did have a lot more successful freshman campaign compared to Christian McCaffrey in their first year, but Reggie Bush was one of the top players coming out of high school. So was Christian McCaffrey, but not to the extent of Reggie Bush. Reggie Bush was the star from high school to college in LA to the NFL in the New Orleans Saints. He was the star. He was the star-studded running back that was supposed to come into every single league and dominate, which he did in high school and in college. His freshman campaign, he was able to score 3 rushing touchdowns, 4 receiving, and have a very nice return yardage when it came to punt returns for USC. Now, Christian McCaffrey did not have any rushing touchdowns his freshman year, which was a very big, stark thing that everybody was kind of taking notice of when, after his freshman campaign, he did have 3 receiving touchdowns, and he did outgain Reggie Bush in rushing yards, but not in receiving yards and rushing yards combined. And then, sophomore season, both of them really took off, and their careers really spiked into a whole nother level. Christian McCaffrey, of course, more than Reggie Bush. But that's because Reggie Bush ran more of a pro-style offense, and he had more weapons around him than Christian McCaffrey and Stanford did. Now, Stanford, don't get me wrong, they run a very nice pro-style offense, very run-heavy, and do a lot of pass formations out of pro-style offenses. But with the spread game, like I explained with Leonard Fournette and Bo Jackson, with the spread game in college football, every team has that package which speeds up the game, which creates more plays in the game, which create more scores, and then creates more offensive possessions, which leads to the heightened and overinflated stats, which helped Christian McCaffrey surpass Barry Sanders in all-purpose yards. But both had 2,000 all-purpose yard seasons their sophomore year. Case of Christian McCaffrey, 3,600. Reggie Bush, like I said, was surrounded by weapons all around him. He had Landell White, he had Dwayne Jarrett, he had Matt Leinart, he had Steve Smith all around him. He was surrounded with NFL talent, while you cannot say the same thing about Christian McCaffrey. He was the engine of the team. He was the driving force behind the team. Kevin Hogan was a very good leader of the team, but Christian McCaffrey pushed them on the field to W's while Kevin Hogan led them. Reggie Bush was a part of a super-powered machine, and he was close to the battery, but not the battery. Now, Reggie Bush did not get a 1,000-yard rushing season or 1,000-yard receiving season his sophomore campaign, but when you add up the 900 rushing yards, 500 receiving yards, the 500 punt return yards, and the 300 kick return yards, it all adds up to 2,000 plus. And he had 15 touchdowns, which is super impactful on a team that won the national championship his sophomore year. Him not even being the main cog of the team, just being a very big instrumental part. So that's why his stats are like that. Or I feel, in my mind, if he was the running driving force behind USC his sophomore year, like Christian McCaffrey was, and the way Reggie Bush was eventually in his junior year, then he would have probably amassed this 3,000 mark when it comes to all-purpose yards in one season. But with his 15 total touchdowns that season, same rivaled Christian McCaffrey, whose sophomore year was just the biggest breakout year I've seen in college football in a long time. It did surpass even Leonard Fournette's sophomore year, and really put Christian McCaffrey in a conversation that Leonard Fournette was in by himself, disrespectfully so to Christian McCaffrey. Now, Christian McCaffrey was electrifying with 2,000 rushing yards, 600 receiving yards, 100 punt return yards, and an astounding 1,000-yard kick return season. Now, I don't think I've ever seen that with any college player ever. The only player I think I could rival him at that matchup in this current college landscape would be Adoree Jackson. But besides him, I don't see any other player. Maybe Tre'Davious White from LSU as well, because he is very good in the return game. But that is just unparalleled and unheard of. Really, when a 1,000-yard kick return season. And he was scoring touchdowns, taking it back to the house. And you cannot be a kick return getting a 1,000-yard return season without being a speed blazer. So I don't want to hear anybody talking about, oh, he's white, he's slow, oh, he doesn't seem as fast as he look on the TV. He is that fast. His dad is a retired NFL Super Bowl champion wide receiver. He is that fast. His mom is a track star. Trust me, the boy has the wheels. It's really ridiculous. He ended up scoring the same amount of touchdowns that Reggie Bush scored. Christian McCaffrey's sophomore campaign compared to Reggie Bush's junior year campaign when he was leaned on the most. The two's junior year campaign, Christian McCaffrey and Reggie Bush, are practically identical. But it's just that Christian McCaffrey's sophomore season, where he was the geared engine of that ship, was so astounding. It was just mind-boggling, really. I still wouldn't call his college career better than Reggie Bush's, but it certainly is up there, seeing that he surpassed Reggie Bush, even though Reggie Bush was surrounded by so many weapons. So now we're going to go into their junior campaigns, where they were both amazing and stellar. Reggie Bush was pushed over to another echelon when he was given the main keys to the ship, to the car, and he drove it like no other, with still weapons all around him and an all-time great college quarterback liner. Like I said, college. He had 1,700 rushing yards plus 16 rushing touchdowns to match. He also had 400, nearly 500 receiving yards out of the backfield. So that's already 2,000 plus all-purpose yards. Then you add in his almost 500 amount of kick return yards plus his punt returns. He'd amassed over 2,000 all-purpose yards again with a fully loaded, stacked team around him, with Landell White, who scored 21 touchdowns in his own right, and Reggie Bush still had this monstrous season, which I think puts him in a different category from Christian McCaffrey when it comes to college careers, not playing style. Christian McCaffrey also did amass over 2,000 yards once again his junior campaign, but he, as we all saw, took a dip from 3,800 to only 2,000 plus, which is still amazing. But when you hit over 3,800 and set the new NCAA record, you're kind of held to an upper status, and We want to see you replicate that again. Same thing with Johnny Manziel when he had that crazy redshirt freshman year, and then his redshirt sophomore year. We all expected him to replicate it, and he did. Christian McCaffrey did not really replicate it. He was about 1,000 yards short, even though he started a great season. And his numbers similarly look like Reggie Bush's: 1,600 rushing yards and 13 touchdowns. Receiving yards not up there because he had a new quarterback. Still got some touchdowns off that. And his kick return yards, which really put him over the edge in the all-purpose, completely dissipated by 700 yards to 300. So he was brought back to earth per se, but he was still otherworldly this year. So when you compare their playing styles, their speed, their intangibles, and all of the Swiss Army knife-like attributes, their 5 ways to kill a team attribute that both of them share, there's no other player I could think of that compares to Reggie Bush. Now, I'm going to continue on with this series. I'm going to continue on and do Dalvin Cook as my next comparison running back, who is my favorite running back to watch out of the 3 that I think are the best running backs in the draft, which are Leonard Fournette, Christian McCaffrey, and Dalvin Cook. I don't know who's the best out of those 3. That's for you guys to decide in the comment section. Please subscribe and watch my next video.